So a question that I'm starting to see from a lot of people lately is, does rank actually matter in Marvel Rivals? And if it does matter, what relevance does it actually have in regards to anything? So let's talk about it. YouTube, what's going on, man? It's Father Dark here, bright and early Saturday morning. I hope that everybody has had a great week. If you haven't, I am sorry to hear that. I hope it gets better for you. But like I said in the intro, lately a lot of people, whether it's been in the comments, a lot of people in my Discord lately, if you haven't joined the Discord, I really would recommend it. We have a lot of scrims and tournaments and stuff like that going on. I do, which is completely separate from YouTube, completely separate, has nothing to do with it. This is just for something I do for people, subscribers and stuff like that. In my Discord, we do giveaways and all types of stuff. So if you're having a hard time finding it, just look next to my logo on my main channel page. You'll see where it says more info. You click the more info button and you'll see the link to my Discord. So just click that, you join, and you're in there. But like I said, we have lots of stuff going on. Even if you're not like a super competitive person, we do customs. You have a lot easier way to just be able to talk to me, ask me questions and stuff like that. And it's just a really, really cool community of very chill people. We have men and women in there, people of all different ages, preferably 18 plus. So we can keep adults in there. But yeah, like I said, there's pretty much everything in there. And it's not even just, there's people that are in there that don't even play the game anymore. They just come in there for the camaraderie and the rapport and stuff that they build with people. It's more like really, really close friends and family and stuff like that once you've been in there for a while and stuff. But to get to the point, like I said, there's a lot of people in the Discord, people in my comment sections, pretty much just everywhere that have been asking me to talk about rank and my thoughts and opinions on what it actually means. Now, anybody that is new to the channel, I'm a person who, a lot of people in this game have a lot of ego, a lot of pride, and I think that just kind of comes with any type of like competitive game that you play. Anytime I played any competitive game, whether it's more like solo based or team based, whatever the case is, people are just competitive. People love to win. Nobody really likes to load in and lose. Even when people aren't very good at the game, they still enjoy winning, which is why, this has kind of come up is because of matchmaking and stuff. And the fact that matchmaking is kind of starting to become more altered in games because there are so many people that want that illusion of feeling like they're really good by being able to win regularly and being able to balance that with everybody having a good time. But it's really hard to do. And that's why I feel like a lot of people have brought up this question to begin with. So I have a few notes here that I've made. So basically, so some of the points I made, what rank represents and what it doesn't, right? The system's mechanics, your progress through, there's 9 tiers. You obviously got bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, grandmaster, celestial, eternity, and then you have one above all. Most of these tiers, outside of like one above all, I believe, I could be wrong, but most of them have 3 tiers, and they got sub ranks, 3 going up to 1, and you need around 100 points per sub tier to climb up, right? But then you have chrono shields. Now the chrono shields, for anybody who's not aware, maybe you don't play rank or anything like that, chrono shields basically, after you've taken so many losses, and I don't know exactly how many it is, maybe it's like 3 or 4 or something like that. After you've taken so many, this chrono shield builds up, and basically you'll kind of get like a free loss to where you don't lose any points for that specific game, which is something that's kind of controversial that a lot of people don't like. Higher tiers introduce tactical elements like hero bans, rank decay if you're inactive, and seasonal resets. So basically, like once you get up to, I think it's like gold now. It used to be higher, but they brought it down. So like when you're in gold, your rank, you're gonna start getting bans. You'll be able to allow, each team will be allowed to ban 2 people, but you can also choose to not ban anyone, which most people don't do. But I guess if you just really want to aura farm, you could choose to do that. Now let's look at why rank holds some weight, right? Reaching higher tiers unlocks cosmetic rewards, nameplate flares, exclusive skins, and bragging rights such as the prestigious one above all, which is really just the top 500 players of that game in the world. The system is visible proof of your dedication, or at least the time you've put in, not just your skill. So this is one thing that I do want to talk about, right? So in the last video that I did, I was talking about why basically like, if you actually are a certain rank, you're going to get to that. And the reason why I was talking about it is because a lot of people talk about EOMM and they'll say, well, I'm stuck in this rank because of EOMM. And the thing is that EOMM, and you can call it whatever you want. Some people say, well, it's not technically EOMM because that's like EA owns the rights to that. So it's like another version of it, or it's like a more in-depth or evolved version of it, whatever the case is. There's something with the matchmaking and the algorithm to where it will try to keep you at a 50% win rate. Now, the thing is, the key word to that is that it will try. Try does not mean do. It just means that it's going to basically make things harder for you. Now, the thing is that EOMM affects everyone differently, right? When people say to me, I'm stuck in silver, when I hear that, it's kind of hard for me to hear like I'm stuck in silver because of something. And the reason I say that is because I'm not even a very good player. I am a slightly above average. And when I say slightly, I mean right over that line, really. I'm not someone who is extremely goated at this game. I'm not like, Flats or Necros or any of these people that you see who are regular, they know everything about the game. They know how to play every single character really well and, always get to the highest ranks. That's not me, right? So what I'm saying by that is that even with me being slightly above average, the lowest rank that I've ever gotten to in this game while seriously playing the rank was platinum. And you hear me say this a lot, where it's like you'll basically have like a skill ceiling, right? It's basically like not the way people use it to describe for like characters and stuff like that, but for you personally, your skill ceiling for me is more like it's when you get to a certain rank and you have to really, really try. You have to pull out every single trick, everything that you've learned, all the best positioning. You have to start evolving and learning new characters that maybe you weren't trying to learn before, and all the stuff that you were doing in previous ranks is not working. And when I first started playing ranked, because it was my first time playing ranked seriously in any type of hero shooter, I had to learn with each rank. So when I was in bronze, there was things that I had to learn to get out of bronze. Then when I got to silver, et cetera, there was things I kept having to learn and do. And all the things that I did in the previous rank did not work. So in my opinion, rank is a good reflection of skill overall. Now, there are exceptions to this, and I'll give you some of those exceptions. So I had a guy in the comments the other day. He said, he was talking to me. He was like, hey, in your last video, I didn't agree with what you said about, rank reflecting your skill, because basically, like, let's say, he was like, I have to work 50 or 60 hours a week or something like that, right? And then he's like, I got a family too. And he goes, when the rank first came out, I guess maybe he was working slightly less or something, so he had more time to grind. And now that he works far more and now he has children and stuff, or whatever the case is, and things that his responsibilities have piled up, it's gotten harder for him to reach the rank that he should be getting to. Now, that's an exception. That would be like anything else, right? Clearly, that's not a true reflection of anything, because you're physically not able to put the time in. It's not like the game is gonna. I mean, yeah, we could have placement matches for that, I guess, to make it easier to get you closer to the rank you're going to be at. But I feel like even with placement matches, that's going to kind of put you in like closer to the rank you belong at, not exactly where you belong. And then, then you'll kind of like progress up, once you're done with that or whatever. So that's kind of like an exception. But for the most part, most people that actually do have the time to play the game, even if it's only so much time out of the day, right? You're gonna get to that rank that you kind of like belong at. And maybe you could get a little bit higher if you had all day every day to like really play the game and grind it out. But that's kind of like a different thing. And like I said, there's other factors that kind of go into it, right? So basically, there's people who can like climb to really high ranks that a lot of people will report that only have like a 33% win rate, because the way that the rank works in this is until you get up to like the really, really high ranks, you basically are constantly always gaining more SR, and those are just like the points in the game. You're gaining more than you're losing. So for example, you might be gaining 30, 33 points per win, and then maybe you only lose 14. So mathematically, you could just keep playing, and even if you're getting boosted or carried or you're playing with friends or whatever the case is, it becomes like, like a slot machine at that point. You just kind of keep spinning the lever, and, you might lose 2 or 3 here, but then you might win 2 or 3 here. And even if that's the case, if it's just like an equal kind of thing, which the game will try to keep you at, you're going to be gaining more points than you're actually losing, right? So I go back to, the original point of why I personally think that rank, it does matter, and it is a good indicator of skill. People will say all the time, they say anyone who's really good at the game, right, they constantly get to a higher rank. People that are slightly above average, they get up to slightly above average ranks. People that are in the middle, they usually can reach gold, and it's whatever. And then lower skill players, they are going to struggle. And the thing is I've brought this up a few times, but I have to say it again, once again, for people that are new. If you're not new here, I apologize. But my wife, for example, she's just started playing the game. She's been playing for a couple of weeks, and the kind of person where she really does learn things very quickly. And she's much like myself, where when she starts learning something, she really tries to sit back and look at the data and look at the numbers. She goes back and watches her replays to study what happened and see, like, from the enemy's perspective, why she got taken out at certain times. And she'll come to me and say, hey, I'm having an issue with Spider-Man. I'll take her into the range and I'll let her play Cloak and Dagger. I play a Spider-Man, and I show her how easy it is to actually eliminate Spider-Man. But we run these drills over and over again, and it helps her out. And she's at that point where she was just able to get out of bronze, but then she got up to silver, and then she immediately got knocked back down again. And this is something that I've seen with myself and with other people and stuff, where once you get up to that next rank, there are going to be people who know slightly more than the people below you. And when I say below you, I just mean, like, if you got up to silver, the people in bronze, like whatever they were doing, you have to learn a little bit more. And I see these things with myself as well. And I'll give you an example, right? It's like Cloak and Dagger works for most of the time. Not saying the Cloak and Dagger can't work in high ranks and stuff, but the higher that I'm getting, I'm starting to notice that there are certain characters that I just have to become better with to be able to make my life a little bit easier. And you take something, for example, like Loki. Cloak and Dagger can deal with dive if it's like one person that's coming after you. Yeah, you got a bubble, you can fade out, and reposition and stuff like that. But when you get to the point to where you have multiple dive coming after you, you kind of have to, like, step your game up and try something else, right? So lately I've been playing Loki because I've noticed that is just kind of something that's far easier. It's much easier to put a clone across the map and then just teleport to that clone and be able to go invisible and reposition, just all the different tactics that you have with Loki to be able to evade dive and make life far harder for other people. It's a lot easier to output, higher healing and get more eliminations and stuff like that when you literally have multiple versions of yourself that are spread out across the map that are all targeting and focusing one target at a time, like Loki does, and the ability to be able to take whoever's ult you want at the time. So if you need something else other than a Cloak and Dagger ult or whatever the case is, and the point that I'm making here is that it's an evolution of yourself. As you go up, you're supposed to learn and grow and do things that you weren't doing before. And that's how it's been with me for each rank. And it's kind of like the first time that I got to Diamond, it was like night and day from Platinum. When I went into Diamond, all of a sudden there was these Hellas that just were not missing. Their aim was just crazy. Not saying there wasn't Hellas that were nice before, but the frequency that I was seeing them at was kind of like ridiculous on PC. Obviously, like PC and console have different kind of like metas and things that people tend to use simply because of the input. But the point I'm making is that that's just how it kind of naturally is. So to lie to myself and say, well, I deserve to be in GM when really I'm a low diamond player, that's just a lie, and that's not going to help me at all. And I think there's a lot of people that it's very easy for them to use EOMM or their time constraints or anything else. And I'm not saying that that's not a legitimate thing, right? But there are some people that they go, well, if I could just sit around all day and play video games, I'd be far better. And the thing is that realistically, those people, they might be practicing wrong. And what I mean by that is that there's two types of practicing. There's practicing where you're genuinely trying to, turn your weaknesses into strengths and improve in the areas where you're suffering. And there's people that just keep playing. They're the ones that just sitting there just pulling the lever on the slot machine. They keep playing, but they're not willing to play new characters. They don't want to change anything. They don't want to become better in any way, shape, or form. They just want to keep saying, well, I'm just going to keep loading in and, brute forcing this thing. And that's one way to do it, but are you actually getting any better, or are you kind of just like boosting yourself through having a higher, amount of SR that you're gaining on your wins than your losses? And like I said, it gets to a point to where I believe, what is that, Eternity or Celestial? I don't know which rank it is, but it's one of the higher ranks where eventually you get to a point to where you're not gaining more points than you're losing. It's like kind of equal. So you can't just, use that as a factor anymore to rank up. And like I said, there's a very clear indicator difference between people that are like, let's say it's a silver player and they're hard stuck in silver versus someone that is plat, diamond, GM, eternity, celestial, whatever. There are some people will say they're smaller, but I feel like there are bigger differences between those players. And it's very easy to see. And the reason why I say this too is because you really start to see it like in our server. We had to start balancing people, and we had to start making tier lists. And at first I thought that was kind of offensive, right? Like, why are we making tier lists of people? Because that's going to make people feel, some kind of way or whatever the case is. Well, we were doing scrims in the server. We had one person, not going to say their name, but I think they know what I'm talking about, when it came time to pick teams for the scrims. And for people that don't know, scrims are basically just like extremely competitive matches where people form teams, and it's basically kind of like training for tournaments and stuff like that, right? So we're having these scrims, and one of the people in the our Discord had made kind of like a super team. He basically took all the people that were like the highest people, like highest like players in the game, and he put them all on one team. And clearly this was not fun for anyone who was doing these scrims, because you basically just had like people like me and below that would be going up against people that were damn near like one above all players and stuff like that, right? A whole entire team stacked of them, and that just wasn't fun. So we ended up having to make tier lists so that for the future, when we do scrims, the people that are like the one above all players in our server, not saying they actually are rank wise, but they're just that good to where if they really put the time and energy in, they could probably get to that point. Point I'm making is that we wanted to make it to where those players got spread out evenly amongst teams. So basically you didn't have a team with Michael Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe and stuff like that all stacked on one team. You had a LeBron on one team, a Jordan on one team, and a Kobe on another team, right? And then you had the other players mixed in. So that way it's a bit more variety and it's fair. Because let's just be honest here. If you were watching a boxing tournament, you wouldn't want to see Floyd Mayweather go up against some guy who just started boxing a few days ago. That would not be very fun. We know who's going to more than likely win that one, right? Like, and that's how things are. We all kind of want to see a fair fight. We want to see two people that are, or two teams that are very closely matched and equal. And then, we want to see it be a very close fight. We don't want to just see someone either get stomped or stomp the other team out completely. That's just not fun. And like I said, these things are important. And there's nothing wrong with being honest with yourself and saying, this is the rank that I'm at. And like I said earlier in the video, the thing with EOMM is that too many people use it as a scapegoat as to why they can't rank up. EOMM is not going to stop you from completely ranking up. It's just going to make it to where when you get to whatever your skill ceiling is, that you're going to struggle a little bit more to get to that next rank, because you are going to have games where your teammates have no idea what they're doing and the enemy team does. And like I said, when you're in lower ranks that are beneath your actual skill ceiling, not saying in a bad way, it's just that if you're a diamond player and you're in silver, you're not going to stay in silver very long. You might lose one or two matches because, the odds are just stacked so far against you that there's just nothing you can do. But for the most part, most of those people are actually going to be genuinely silver players on your team and on the enemy team. So you should be able to carry to a point to where it's like, but that's only if you are someone who is actually way above that rank. If you're actually meant to be in silver, just like when I was meant to be in silver when I first started playing, I needed teammates to actually do what they were supposed to. But it gets to a point to where you have to rise so far above that you can actually carry to get to that next rank. And I know that's very confusing. I know it is, because when I first started playing this game, my thoughts were, this is a team-based game. Why should I need to carry to rank up? And the thing is that even though I still feel like that's how it should be, I feel like lots of things in the world should be a particular way. I think that we should just not have homeless people, or that people shouldn't go hungry, or that, a lot of the issues that happen shouldn't happen, but they do. And, like my dad used to say, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It sounds really nice to say like, well, things just shouldn't be this way. But when they are, what do you do? When you have to face adversity, what do you do? Do you sit back and do you blame the boogeyman of EOMM? Not saying it doesn't exist, but are you going to sit here and use that as a crutch, or are you going to become better? Because at the end of the day, there are people that do consistently make it to certain ranks every single time. And my mindset is, if someone else can do something, then I can do it. It might take me a little bit longer to get to that level, but if I really want to do something, it's just as simple as putting my mind to it, just like starting this channel. A lot of people out here want to be content creators. A lot of people feel like, oh, I got to be the best. I got to be Necros level of Spider-Man for people to watch me. Brother, I'm nowhere near that. You people tune into me every single time that I upload a video, watch them and comment and subscribe and do all that other good stuff. You know why? Because I put my mind to it. I don't need to be out here and be the LeBron of this game to sit here and make videos. And the thing is that when it comes down to it, The only difference, because we're just normal, regular, everyday people. I just got up this morning and brushed my teeth, washed my face, took a shower, put on clothes, ate a wonderful breakfast that my wife made for me, hung out with the kids for a few minutes, and then I came in here and sat down at my desk and started making a video just like anybody. I'm a normal person. The only difference is that are you going to put one foot in front of the other and click that record button and then the upload button to YouTube? That's what separates people. And it's kind of the same thing with the game. If you sit back and you say, oh, well, who would want to watch my videos, or who would want to do this or do that? I can't get to that rank because it's EOMM holding me back. Well, then why do all these other thousands of people do it? What are they doing differently? Are they any better than you? No. To me, you're all equal. You all are capable. I probably believe in people that I've never even spoken to that listen to me. I probably believe in you more than you believe in yourself. I believe that you want that promotion at your job? Go talk to your boss. You know what I'm saying? Tell them why you deserve it, why you're an asset. There's that girl or that guy that you like. Go talk to him. Say, hey, ask him how their day was. Whatever it is in your life that you want to do, if you wanted to start a channel right now, I believe in you. I got faith in you. Hell, you could even join the Discord. I'll tell you exactly what my workflow is like. I believe in all of you. And you have to believe in yourself as well. But when you sit back and you make excuses about things, I know a lot of people will say, well, it's not an excuse because it's real. That's fine. Life is hard. That's real. Doesn't mean that you can't overcome whatever obstacles get put in front of you. But it all starts up here. I'm pointing to my mind. It all starts up here in the mind. And that's just my little positive, encouraging, speech for you all, simply because, I'm at an age and a point in my life to where that's what I feel like I should do. The Father Dark in my name is not just for my kids, father to the gaming community. I don't mean like your actual father. It's just I'm here to give you a little bit of insight and give you that positive push and nudge that you need sometimes to kind of, help you step over the whatever it is that you're kind of needing to step over to get to that next stage, the next phase in life. Because a lot of us, we become very complacent. It becomes very easy to sit back and blame everything except ourselves a lot of times. And like I said, I just gotta say it just one more time. I do believe EOMM is real. But if we were looking at it on like a scale and it was like, well, how strong is this EOMM to the point to where it's really actually holding you back like that? I would say it's like a 4. It's there. It's like a 4. And right now you might be at a 3 of like, where it is that you are mentally and all that kind of stuff. And you just have to take that next step and overcome it so that you can get to a 5 and a 6 and a 7. And then eventually the 10 that I know that you all can be. But, to end it out, I do think rank is important. There are a lot of exceptions as to why certain people aren't ranked. And just one more exception I'll give you. There was someone in our server, her name is Kana. She is absolutely amazing support player. And I'm not just saying that. I don't sit here and cap for any of you all. You'll never hear me tell you that someone is good or that I think they're really good or whatever. If they're not, I'm just too honest of a person. It's hard for me to sit back and stroke your ego and stuff like that for no Diddy without like just me breaking and just going, no, I can't do it. I'm sorry. So if I say someone is an amazing player, they're an amazing player. Point is that Kana, absolutely amazing support, to the point to where I would personally, when we were both playing support, would try to eliminate her just to kind of like, prove a point to myself mentally because I knew how good she was. And every time she would diff me. Now, the thing is, Kana doesn't play ranked. She just plays quick play with friends. She's a very quiet and very chill person, so she doesn't want to have to play ranked. She doesn't want to deal with trolling and Jeff's eating her and throwing off cliffs and going back and forth with teammates and stuff like that. And there are a lot of people that play this game that are amazing players that don't play ranked. I know if Kana actually tried to play ranked, she would easily hit GM every single time. Every single time. No issues. An amazing player. But she doesn't play ranked. So technically, she's a bronze player. Technically, because she doesn't play it. So what does that actually mean at the end of the day? Now, there's a difference between that and if you actually load into rank every day or every other day or a couple times a week, whatever, and you can't get out of silver, you might just be a silver player, and that's okay. Because the thing is that you don't have to be whatever it is you are now forever. It's up to you entirely. How much time and energy and effort do you want to put into something? I have to be honest with myself. I'm a grown man with a family, mortgage, all that kind of stuff, a wife, kids. I don't want to be a top 500 player. I've already made that mentally in my mind. I have no urge to do that. The time and the energy that it would take, I don't care enough. I'm sorry. GTA 6 is coming out like next year. Like This is fun for now. It's cool, but eventually other things will come out. There will be other things that I want to put time and energy into. It's just not that deep to me. It's never been that deep to me to be top 500 in any game. If it is, salute to you, respect to you. That's cool. I appreciate and respect the grind, right? Just not for me. And like I said, you have to be honest with yourself and say, where am I at? Where do I realistically want to be? For me, once I'm able to get up to like eternity or something like that, I'll be fine. But at no point am I ever, I'd have to accidentally stumble into top 500 or something. It would never be something that I did intentionally. And it's not saying that to put anyone down, like how people are like, oh, you got to take a shower or touch grass. No. It's just like, it's like saying, like, let's say I enjoy playing basketball, but I only enjoy going down to the park and playing basketball. There's nothing wrong with saying I have no intentions upon making it to the NBA. That's okay. Not everything that you do in life, you need to get to a point to where you're so good at it that you go pro. Sometimes you can just do things to enjoy it. I hear people all the time that say, I only load into this game to play against the AI. That's what I enjoy. That's like extreme, as casual as it can possibly get, right? And then you have some people that say, I only play this game to get up to gold. As soon as I get up to gold and I got the skin, I'm out of here. And then you have some people that every season they try to get a little bit further than they got before. Everybody's different, and it's okay. Doesn't make you any more or less of a gamer or a person or anything like that. That's absurd to even begin to think like that. But once again, just got to say, rank does have some kind of bearing on skill if you're actually regularly playing it. It is a good indicator, a good metric to use to say, okay, this is probably actually more than likely where I'm at skill-wise. And that's okay. But, I thought it was an interesting topic. A lot of people have been asking about it. I've seen a lot of different perceptions about it and arguments in regards to why it's relevant or why it's not. And even at the end of the day, it's just a stat in a video game. It does not matter. The things that matter are your family, your friends, your own mental health, sanity, all that kind of stuff. That's what truly matters. Some metric in a video game and a little badge, which is just pixels on a screen that tells you where you are and where you belong and all that kind of stuff. It ultimately, it does not matter. But in regards to where you are skill-wise in the game, like I said, it is a good indicator to tell you that information. But I've been rambling for 26 minutes, though. I kind of felt like saying all the things that I wanted to say, because if not, people will come in the comment section and they'll say, oh, well, you didn't talk about this. You didn't talk about that. It's like, brother, I could talk for 5 hours and you guys would still find something to say that I didn't say. And that's okay. I got to learn to accept that. Not every video is going to be, a 5-10 minute video, and not every video is going to be an hour long video. So it just depends on what it is that I feel like I got to say that day. And, me getting whatever it is I need to get off my chest, et cetera. That's the benefit of having your own platform and being able to do whatever it is you want within reason, right? So, but like I said, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend. I hope you start your week off great. If you're already starting school and stuff like that, good luck with that. I hope everything goes well for you. But, I'm Father Dark, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.